Good evening and welcome to the January 8th meeting of the Livermore City Council. I now call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Barrientos.
Present.
Councilmember Browning.
Here.
Councilmember Kick. Here. Vice Mayor Carling.
Here.
Mayor Marchand.
Here. Okay, if you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Now moving on to the open forum. The city clerk will explain how to participate in tonight's meeting.
Thank you, Mayor. The City Council's agenda provides opportunities for the public to participate in the meeting by addressing the City Council in the following ways. For non-agendized items, the public has the opportunity during open forum to address the City Council on any item of interest that is within the City Council's subject matter jurisdiction. For agendized items, the public can address the City Council on each of its business items it considers when the mayor opens public comment and should be focused on that particular item. Please note, a speaker is not required to answer any questions from the City Council, and the City Council is not required to answer questions from the public. However, the mayor has the discretion to ask staff to address the speaker's comments when a council member believes it is relevant to a particular business item. When participating in tonight's meeting, one comment may be given per person per item. For consent calendar items, one comment may be given for the entire consent calendar. If consent items are pulled for discussion by the City Council, a speaker will be allowed one comment on the items pulled for discussion and a separate comment for the remaining consent calendar. To provide comment, please fill out and turn in a speaker card found at the entrance of the City Council chambers. Speakers will be announced in the order received. Once public comment opens, each participant's name will be announced and their 3 minutes will begin once at the lectern. The mayor will announce the conclusion of public comment period after all comments have been voiced into the record. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, do we have any speaker cards?
Yes, sir. The first speaker, or the only speaker, is David McWiggin.
So, Johnny, here's that picture that you found so amusing since it's from 2012. I'll admit, it's not a very good picture. The contrast is awful. And that's because I took the picture wanting to show how the impact of the sun wasn't looking. It was only later that I found out the picture of the skid mark evidence at the accident scene. Thing is, Johnny, this picture does exist. The event where it was taken did actually occur. So for you to try to claim that nothing ever happened is clearly a deliberate lie. Unfortunately, you're doing what you have a well-documented history of doing. You lied to cover up for Officer Black, and you're lying to cover up for my complaint now. Well, Johnny, in California, we have a right to see the information used by the government to make decisions that directly impact us. This is a Freedom of Information request to get copies of the final report written by the investigator, as well as any witness statements and expert analysis required. Now, I have no doubt you will try to withhold the information. In fact, because Mr. Alcala deliberately lied coming to his conclusions, releasing the information could expose you to some significant civil liabilities for willful, improper handling of civilian complaints, depending on how difficult you make getting the information. And when Mr. Alcala tells you that you can't release the information because it's personnel related, be sure to ask, but Jason, how can something that never happened possibly be personnel related? Now, whatever reason Mr. Alcala concocts to withhold the information really won't be important. I'll be able to point out an important life lesson to the people of Livermore. When you have two people with a disagreement, and one is trying as hard as possible to make the information public, and one is trying as hard as possible to keep things secret, well, it's not the one who's trying to make the information public who's lying. You're a lying, corrupt criminal, Johnny, and you will be found out.
The next speaker is Jerry McNerney.
Mr. McNerney, welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council, citizens of Livermore. My name is Jerry McNerney, a former member of U.S. House of Representatives for 16 years. My district represented initially Pleasanton, Dublin, San Ramon, Danville, parts of Contra Costa County, all of San Joaquin County and Santa Clara County and Sacramento counties. I left Congress at the end of last year, and now I wanted to introduce myself to the City Council and announce that I'm running for the California State Senate, District 5, which includes San Joaquin County and parts of East Alameda County, Livermore, Dublin, San Ramon. I'm a resident of Pleasanton, and I'm a contractor to the Livermore National Laboratories, Stanford Fellow, and I'm setting up an AI trade association with a Pillsbury law firm in Washington and San Francisco. So just wanted to introduce myself and
It looks like you're going to be as successful at retirement as I was. Thank you very much. You served us very, very well. You brought in millions of dollars from the federal government to serve your constituents out here with the Housing Opportunity Center, bridge financing for I-580. So we sincerely appreciate how well you served this community previously and look forward to you coming back and serving it again.
thank you, Mayor. My intent is to work on the climate change, artificial intelligence, Valley Link between the San Joaquin County and the Tri-Valley, very important because everyone gets stuck in the traffic that's going back and forth every day. That'll be a big boost to both economies, and I think the California State Senate is a wonderful organization I'd love to be a part of. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much.
That concludes open forum.
Okay, with that, moving on to, we have no proclamations and presentations. To the open or the consent calendar. These are typically items that are routine in nature. Does anybody wish to pull an item from consent for comment? Councilmember Barrientos? 5.4. Okay, 5.4 is let's see, that is less affordable housing. Yes. Yes. So we don't need to necessarily pull that, but you have some comments?
I just want a little bit of explanation of it, because a lot of people ask me, what is affordable housing?
Right.
And I have a hard time explaining it to them. And so just a real quick summary on how we got there. And I was looking for houses for under $600,000 that aren't any of them. Are there? I couldn't find one. So.
Thank you. I'm Paul Spence, your Director of Community Development, and now your Assistant City Manager. And I can share a little bit about the city's affordable housing program. So the item before you tonight is reestablishing the rental and sales prices for affordable units. The city has a program whereby generally citywide new development is required to provide about 15% of the units as affordable. And we do this recognizing that there are people in the community, a broad range of people providing goods and services, living and working here, and some of them have trouble meeting the very, very high housing prices that exist today. And so we're recognizing the need within our community for affordable housing for a variety of different people. Again, here in Livermore, the for sale rates are established based on information from HUD, or sorry, from HCD, from the state. We use those state numbers to establish the rates each year. That's what we're doing this evening. And the city has a must-build requirement. So for the vast majority of projects, the affordable units are built within the development itself. The council does have the ability to grant exceptions to that, and we use in lieu funds through some of those exceptions for special projects like Avance or Vineyard 2.0, projects that ordinarily might not be able to proceed without special funding. So the city has had this program in place for a very long time, and we've provided thousands of units to folks within our community that are in need. Thank you.
I just want to clarify in case someone's confused why this was pulled. We're not making any decision about this tonight. This is very much a consent item act. We are updating the numbers that come to us from the state. We don't decide these numbers. These numbers are based on income averages that are given through us through state and federal data, not a decision city council makes. We are affirming that you updated it like you were supposed to.
Correct. We use numbers from the state to update the for sale and rental housing rates. And then the city has a policy, which most cities do, requiring about a 30% contribution. So that's what we're doing this evening. It's updated each year.
It's your question? Okay, good. Good.
For information.
Great, excellent. So I'm glad you pulled this because I had a couple of comments to make on this. On page 28, it lists low-income housing as $118,000, 6 figures. I never made that much in any job that I worked, $118,000 a year. And that is low income. It takes a lot of money to be low income in the Tri-Valley. And during the last election, there were frequent authors and letters to the editor and on Nextdoor that were complaining about the city's efforts to bring in low-income housing. And they actually said that they didn't want to run into people that were low income when they were in the downtown. Low income is $118,000. These are people, these are support staff for our emergency responders. These are our teachers. These are our service workers in the restaurants. So for these folks, they said they didn't want to run into them in the downtown. They were already there because they were probably serving them their meal, or they were sitting at the table next to them. So when people talk about low income, these are not indigent people. These are people that are working hard to serve this community. So low income is $118,000, and you can still qualify for low income housing in Livermore. So it's pretty remarkable, and I think it really has to people to realign some of their thought processes. You had a comment, Councilmember?
I actually wanted to comment about a different item.
Oh, okay.
So afterwards.
I got 5.3 coming up too. So, but so go ahead.
Oh,
Please.
actually, I'm just really excited about item 5.5. And I was hoping, similar to Councilmember Barrientos' question, if staff could give a little bit more detail on it. I see we have the relevant staff members here even.
Yes, Mayor and members of the council, happy to. We actually have a brief slide presentation, if that's helpful. So item 5.5 is the community benefit policy and establishing a community benefit fund. And we're seeking to do this this evening because we're looking for a funding mechanism that'll help the community invest in community benefit programs that are aligned with our strategic goals within our strategic plan. And some of those are listed on the screen. Things like inclusive, inviting spaces and places where we can help facilitate public events and build a sense of community, an economy that prospers, where we can help fund small business assistance programs, the pillar of environmental stewardship, where we can help provide resources to some of our climate incentive programs, and then a safe community that strives, where we have additional resources to invest in public facilities. So that's the purpose or the intent behind establishing this fund. And then as far as sources, we're looking at transactional sources of funds. So not things that would be derived from property or sales tax or that are dedicated as part of an impact fee. These are things like development agreements or open space easements, sales, or other, again, agreements and transactions. And development would help provide those resources to this community benefit fund, but wouldn't be compelled to do so. It's just another tool in the toolkit. And so that's the purpose of the fund, this vessel, and then also where we think we can get those resources, and then how those resources are spent would be done through the normal appropriations by City Council as part of the budget. So happy to answer any follow-up questions you might have.
Thank you. I didn't expect a slideshow. No, I just think this is a really cool project. I really appreciate staff for working on this. It's, something that I think will be an incredible value to the city. To make sure it's clear, it's leveraging other people's money to make the city better, which whenever that's possible, I think we should go and, charge right ahead. This is a really innovative program. And so I just wanted to give some major commendation and cheer on our staff for coming up with such a cool idea.
Agreed, absolutely. No, this is a great idea and a great way to fund things that provide great benefit to this community. So that's we're about quality of life. So excellent.
Aptly named.
Yes, that's right. Absolutely. Just a couple other comments that I wanted to make on 5.3, and that's the acceptance of the permanent maintenance, the recent security bonds for the street resurfacing project. So this references the Metropolitan Transportation Commission every year does a pavement condition index, the PCI. So the MTC PCI, as it were. And so there's 101 cities in the 9 Bay Area counties. And the scale on the PCI goes from 0 to 89. And from 0 to 49 is considered poor. So there's some cities up in the wine country that are listed in the northern wine country, the Napa area, that are 49. So that's considered, those are at risk, poor. Oakland, San Leandro, 55, 56, Berkeley. Again, those are poor. That's poor quality roads. Hayward is fair at 69. And there is only one city in Alameda County that actually hit 80. And that was Dublin. But remember, Dublin over the last 10 years has grown by 58%. So a lot of the roads that they have in Dublin have been recently built by developers. Livermore, out of those 101 cities, Livermore is in the top 10 highest quality streets in the 9 Bay Area counties. We tie for number 2 in Alameda County. So the roads here are in very good condition, and that's even though our roads are older, it's because we have a strategic maintenance program to maintain the quality of the roads. And that's what we're seeing here tonight. And that's what we're voting on tonight, is that we have this schedule where we go through and we resurface the roads to ensure that they continue to be in excellent repair. So as I said, out of the the county of Alameda, we tied for second place, and we're in the top 10 in the 9 Bay Area counties. So my congratulations to staff. The program is working. You're doing a great job, and I sincerely appreciate it. And I think that people get sort of jaded in the idea that, oh, everything's, going down in a handbasket. But no, we've got excellent infrastructure here in Livermore, and I'm very proud of the fact that our staff has a program to keep it that way. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate your and the council's support and leadership.
Okay, any other comments on the consent calendar? If not, I'll be willing to accept a motion.
I'll move.
Wait,
I'll second.
Mayor?
Oh, any public comment?
No, sir.
Yeah, I looked out in the audience at that. No.
I'll move consent.
Okay, motion by council member Carrick. Seconded by council member
Seconded.
Brandon. Okay, any discussion on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, do we need to do that roll call? No, we don't.
No.
That's right. Okay, it passed unanimously. No public hearings, no matters for consideration. Do we have committee reports? Councilmember Branning, matters initiated.
My committee reports are in there, and I just want to wish everyone a happy new year.
I have one thing to add, which was today, LAVTA at 4, which I don't think they need, but that's where we were earlier that I did not put in there. Thank you.
Councilmember Barrientos.
Oh, I just want to wish everybody happy new year. Let's make it a great year, 2024.
Councilmember, Vice Mayor Carling.
Yeah, thanks. I hope everybody had a great holiday season. And also I'll second and thirdly and fourthly, Happy New Year to all.
Okay, everything was reported in my report out this morning, although there were a couple of interesting things today at the Alameda County Transportation Commission. There is funding available on federal level we got an update from our lobbyists in DC, Vision Zero and Safe Streets for planning grants. Those programs in the past have been undersubscribed. So as I often say, it's free money. Let's go out and get us some. And also looking for rail crossing safety grants. SB 397 is going to be heard tomorrow, and that's a proposal to consolidate transit operators. That's going to be something to look forward to as well. With that, seeing no further business before the council, adjourn the meeting to January 22nd.